All right, Dan Haggerty here in the 10 News Live Center. You're looking at live pictures and breaking news. This is in National City where you see those are spike strips hanging off the back of that beige Nissan there. We've been watching police chasing this vehicle at high speeds from the interstate to side streets just a few moments ago. We aren't sure why they were chasing the person, but we just saw this all unfold right now. Seconds ago, when Kim was still talking in that last story, we saw this vehicle slow down, stop right there behind that truck. We haven't seen much movement since. You can see at least one person sitting in the front seat there of the vehicle. And again, those are spike strips hanging off the back tires there. We knew police were using those, and there he goes again, starting to drive when traffic begins to move. Police very close behind him. We've been listening to some of this over the police scanners, trying to get some type of idea of why this person might be running, why police are trying to get this person. But there you go again. We thought for a second that he might have been finished, might have stopped, clearly having punctures in those back rear tires there, but taking off once again through busy streets, through neighborhoods, not really at a high rate of speed right now, but a few moments ago we saw this person driving very, very quickly. We're going to continue to stay on top of this. Guys, you know, we've seen this so many times before. Of course, when they start to get on these side streets, it slows down a bit, but it gets a lot more dangerous. You know, you're not on the interstate at those high speeds, but now you're dealing with intersections, with traffic lights. You're dealing with people crossing streets, people walking on sidewalks. And any time you have punctures in a tire like that, especially as you continue to drive further and further and those wheels get more and more damaged, it becomes very difficult to maneuver that car and to be able to stay in control of it, especially when you are driving a little bit faster. You're driving through bike lanes, things of that nature.
Very different situation here where, as you talked about, Dan, usually we see this on a highway. Clearly this is a residential area. As he made that turn onto this street right here, and we'll identify that a little bit later, you could see a guy that was just walking just within feet from him. So let's hope that they can put a stop to this pretty quick. He doesn't seem to be concerned about traffic or stoplights or anything like that. He just kind of obeys the laws and then just keeps on moving through.
Well, we saw in those live pictures how quickly that these situations can change a moment ago, and we just saw it there with that car. There, you see right there the unit that they had in the intersection. They prevented him from taking a turn. So obviously they have units out in front of him at the intersections, making sure that he doesn't go in certain directions. But a few seconds ago when he was stopped, it was because there was traffic, specifically that big black truck that we saw, and that stopped him for a moment. We thought maybe it had died down, as you said. The minute the truck moved, he was on the move. He was just allowed to get out. He had enough space. That's how fast these can change.
And police seem to be corralling him a little bit. You noticed at one point one of the police officers was blocking the intersection, keeping the car from turning what would be right onto another street. So they're trying to at least keep him on this straight road right here. Of course, they do that sort of thing to try and put down spike strips, to try and damage the tires even more. Well, you see here, look at that.
That's where we're going to have a problem right there. He is going through those intersections now, and that's where we saw the officers just a moment ago. If they can get out in front, they can stop the traffic that's ahead, but it's unpredictable where he's going to turn, where he's going to go, and that's where we may see an issue with this being a highly residential area. It looks like a lot of businesses here too, and the spike strips don't seem to be doing anything except for maybe being hung up in the axle.
And yeah, you know, Steve's right about the intersections. There's too many. You can't block them all because you don't know where he's going to turn. Even if you had them out in a straight line, he makes one turn and you're not ready for it. But in order for those two cars to have just almost collided with him on that intersection, it means that he blew through the red to make that turn. So he's not obeying the laws, even though he gets to hang out every once in a while at an intersection just to figure out what he's going to do next. But it's not necessarily that he's caring about the laws on the road there.
Yeah, and you know, the police as well, you're not only talking about this person having to blow through lights and to put other people in danger, but the police not only have to stay on this guy's tail, and here he goes getting back onto the interstate. We'll see how he fares without those back tires dealing with interstate traffic here. But you know, you also talk about the police having to not only worry about this driver, but they're very conscious of the other people and the other drivers around, which, you know, clearly this guy is not.
Good point, Dan, because here you're now on the freeway, and those cars up there have absolutely no idea, unless someone has manage to see a 10 News push alert or something, which drivers may not. They have absolutely no idea what's coming at them, and that's part of the danger of these chases right now. He's getting off. We don't know because we're not out wide enough with Sky 10 to see exactly which off-ramp he just took there and exactly where he is, but he's gaining speed as fast as he can, considering the fact that he's already got damaged tires.
That's one thing about it. Sky 10 is very deceiving. He's at a pretty high rate of speed now. And again, as Dan mentioned, they had those spike strips, but it looks like it's just kind of hung up on the back fender or possibly the axle. So there we see Greenview Boulevard coming up right here. So now we're kind of getting a better idea of where he's headed here.
It looks like he's northbound. It looks like he's northbound 15, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Ocean View.
So he's actually coming very close to the station, coming up on the 94 and Home Boulevard. So not too far from where we are located right now.
Yep, Market Street right
There's
there.
Market.
You'll get to Euclid. Did you just see him almost hit that car right there? So he's approaching Euclid, Home Avenue. Eventually it would be downtown San Diego, and he'll be able to choose between lots of different freeway options there between 15, 805, and eventually the 5. So this guy, depending on how far this car will take him, can do a lot still this afternoon.
Yeah, and you look in the other direction, there's a lot of traffic. It's 5:15 in the afternoon. This is rush hour. People are getting ready to go home from work. So it appears right now he hasn't chosen a very heavily trafficked area, but as Kim mentioned, there's a lot of options coming up, and he very may well choose something that has a lot more vehicles on it, a lot more people to put in danger. You notice people pulling off the side of the road as he approaches.
And that's one of the things about it. He is going to hit this if he goes, as you can see now, north on the 805. Yeah. He's going to, as he starts going a little bit further north, that's where the traffic is going to pick up again, and maybe the officers will have a possibility. Well, now he's going to exit.
Off.
That's the 94, and he's off now.
There we go.
That's it. That's that back tire.
Yeah.
He tried to make it too fast. He did not have that back tire from the spike strips. And you see police making a move on the vehicle with guns drawn right now, guys.
Yeah, they don't seem to know whether or not he's armed just in the way they're doing it. They've got the dog there. There's the canine unit. They put the dog in the car.
In the car.
Wow.
So he's probably going to be wanting out quickly.
How about that? The dog right through the passenger window. The officer scooping him up inside and dragging this man out right now. I don't know if I've ever seen a dog go through a passenger side window like that. They were not messing around. They wanted to take this thing down as quickly as they could.
And, we just pause for a moment as we watch what they're doing. They've got the guy in custody. He got out of the car. They opened the other side. But, you, Dan, recently just did a story on these dogs, and they're all donations. They are not bought by PD. They're all donated. They have to be highly trained, and it's through the police foundation and people's donations that they have these canines. You did a great story on it, and now we've just gotten to see what these dogs actually do in action.
And that was going through my head the moment that happened. And if you'd have seen what these dogs do in person, up close, that guy in that car is in a lot of pain right now. Those dogs are taught to go in, grab a hold, shake, and not let go. No matter how much that person yells in pain, no matter what they do, those dogs are holding on until police can do what they're doing right now, and that's get control of the situation and put some handcuffs on this person. I'll tell you this, that guy's not going right to jail. He's going to the hospital first, I'll guarantee it.
Good point. Years ago, Dan, I actually did a demonstration with those dogs with how they train them. They gave me an entire body leather suit and then had the dog hit me from afar. The leather suit didn't matter. I thought a truck hit me. It was the power those dogs have is amazing.
That was an absolutely incredible ending. Let's go and show it to you one more time as this driver was getting off of the freeway here, hopping onto the 94, losing control with those back tires blown out from a spike strip. We can imagine we saw that spike strip hanging from the back tire until the person picked up speed on the interstate. And as soon as he hit that patch of dirt, and it looks like the car may have stalled or he couldn't regain control, police were out in a matter of seconds. And look at that dog being pushed up through that passenger side window. The guy had his windows down. He's probably regretting that big time right now.
Good point. That was the difference.
That was complete and total technique by the San Diego Police Department, stopping traffic when they could, holding back, allowing this guy to do what he needed to do, knowing that he was going to screw up at some point. And if you know that turn to go south on the 94, it's quite a hairpin turn. So if you take it too fast, you're going to lose control. just like he did, but then waiting, being patient, and making the right move when they knew that they had to. And then, of course, with the K9 unit, what a finish.
Yeah, guys, we're just hearing from the desk
point.
how this all started. It was over on Imperial. Apparently, that's a stolen vehicle. The driver being suspected of stealing that vehicle and appeared to be running as though he might have been the right guy.
Yeah, and Steve made a great point. Whether or not they were kind of coaxing him to take that exit or whatever by kind of getting in close, you can, try to make them make a decision. They knew that turn. They knew that all of this dirt was there, and so they got him away from traffic. They got him on his own in the middle of this dirt. Great way to take him down. That was perfect.
Nice work by the San Diego Police Department. All right, Dan, thank you. We're going to